The Gibraltar, A City Under Siege exhibition is a well-established tourist attraction in the Upper Rock Nature Reserve, providing a glimpse of what life was like during one of the pivotal periods in the Rock's history. These renovations have enhanced that experience, with 11 new interpretation panels on the detail of everyday life at the time.
We've always had this emphasis on military history and not so much on Gibraltarian history, and we've tried to find the balance between what it was like for British settlers and British soldiers living in a Mediterranean fortress during the siege times, but also what it was like for us, for Gibraltarians, and our struggles during the siege. So you'll be able to find out that we were also flogged, that we would also get executed if we didn't follow military rules. We would also get evicted from our homes if they wanted to bring in a British Protestant or British national. We weren't even a statistics at the time. They would just refer to us as a native of alien blood, essentially, right? So you would be able to find out a bit about that. You'd be able to find out that the city was entirely obliterated and destroyed. We had to flee, what we've named in our interpretation panel the Gibraltarian Exodus. So we fled and we started living in wooden shelters and wooden huts in an area between South Barracks and the Mount. And if you weren't affluent enough to have sort of like a monopoly on food and drink, we would have to, our ancestors essentially ate grass, seaweed and wild onions, and that's essentially what they had to deal with during that time. Many of us, especially children, also died of dysentery, of influenza, scurvy, smallpox especially. So it's good for us to be able to inform our community and our fellow Gibraltarians about what it was like for us during that time.
Mannequins in period clothing have also been restored and enhanced, and a replica cannon and military objects have been placed on site. And there's also a documentary on the Great Siege playing in one of the magazines, which themselves form part of the historical and cultural significance of the area.
The magazines especially are two of the oldest structures during our British period, probably built during the very early 1700s, 1704, 1705. So they're quite important and from a military point of view. But what's really interesting for not only your viewers but for visitors is that the walls themselves have loads of etched engravings and graffiti from the time. So many of them range from the early 1700s all the way to the 1750s, even 8 years after the Great Siege. Some of them are very artistic. We've got a two-decked ship, for example, very nicely scratched. So we've been able to undertake a photographic survey of it and redraw it on one of the panels, so you'll be able to see it properly. So it's a nice, interesting feature that we didn't have before that now we've been able to include.
More information on the restoration of the exhibition, as well as other heritage sites, is available on the Ministry's website, with further works also planned to restore Southport Gates and the Tower of Homage in coming months.